Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990's Represent. We're starting off our fifth cycle of 1991 with an album, or I should say, two albums for this video. In this episode, we're talking about Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2 by Guns N' Roses. Essentially a double album, but it actually has separate releases. I have my notes here, and I actually have a note from when we did our first cycle in 1991, because this was part of the kind of the seven historic albums that were all released within 44 days of each other. Those other albums included, let's see, Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let me see. The Black Album by Metallica, 10 by Pearl Jam. Let's see, Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger and Nirvana's Nevermind. So basically, these seven albums, this being one or two of them, coming out within 44 days of one another. These are all kind of just iconic, legendary albums. Like we said, Nevermind, the Black Album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, 10, and so on. So let me actually get to my notes for these albums, and then we'll get started properly. But just part of that run of seven albums, all released within very short time period of one another. Anyhow, on to Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2. They were released on September 17th, 1991. This is their third, or Guns N' Roses' third and fourth studio albums. Like we said, basically it has separate releases, but it's essentially a double album, double full length album. These albums are actually fairly long each. I think I want to say they're each over an hour, and they're pretty good. I think Appetite for Destruction is probably my overall favorite one from them. There's a lot of really good songs on these two albums. But some fans, and I kind of agree, they do feel at times a little bit bloated, especially if you're listening to them back to back like I did. Listen to volume, or listen to one, and then I listened to two, and it felt kind of long overall. I might have to go and make like a custom playlist of some of the best songs from each and just listen to that. But overall, these are very good albums. Some of their like classics are on this, like November Rain and You Could Be Mine, Civil War, and so on. They had various music styles going with this that were just not their traditional, just kind of hard rock. They kind of leaned into a little bit of, I wrote the genres down here, a little bit of blues, some classical, some metal, some punk, a lot of stuff kind of like they had like piano parts in some of these. So they definitely were experimenting with their sound at this time period. I know that this is kind of like when they started doing these albums include various covers like Knocking on Heaven's Door and Live and Let Die, obviously by Bob Dylan, McCartney, and Wings. So definitely stepping out of their comfort zone a little bit with these two albums. They're still primarily rock albums overall, or like rock / metal albums. But they do dip into other genres here and there throughout the albums. So this was also, I think, Matt Sorum's, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, first album with them, and he replaced Steve Adler, who I think had gotten kicked out of the band due to kind of drug issues and things like that. There's some longer songs on this. They kind of lean a little more into some of the ballads, like November Rain is a classic. Let's see, they did, so apparently during the mixing, they were mixing it with, I believe, Bob Clearmountain, and they did a bunch of mixing with him, and then I think the band ended up just kind of starting over and scrapping the mixing. There were a lot of kind of interpersonal issues going on with the band in the mixing, and like one quote, I forget who it was from, was saying something like, if Axl liked the mix / didn't, and vice versa, if Slash liked the mix on a song, Axl didn't like it. So they eventually just remixed, I think, the entire thing. So they kind of like were mixing and mastering and then basically just started from scratch after that. We're going to get to the track listing for Use Your Illusion 1, and then we'll jump into a little bit of stuff from 2 and then do the track listing for that. Let me just pull up the track list here. So Use Your Illusion 1 comes in at about an hour and 6 minutes. We just pull down to the track list here. And we're just going off of the original track listing. We're not doing like the deluxe editions or anything like that. So like we said, Use Your Illusion 1 comes in at about an hour and 6 minutes. No, actually an hour and 16 minutes, sorry. With, let's see, 16 tracks here. So track 1 on this particular first album is Right Next Door to Hell. Track 2 is Dust and Bones. Track 3 is Live and Let Die. Again, a cover of Paul McCartney and Wings, used in, of course, the Live and Let Die James Bond film. Track 4 is Don't Cry. Track 5 is Perfect Crime. Track 7 is You Ain't the First. Track 7 is Bad Obsession. Track 8 is Back Off Bitch. Track 9 is Double Talk and Jive. Track 10 is November Rain, a classic. One of their absolute best, I think. It just has an iconic music video to go along with it. Track 11 is The Garden, that also features Alice Cooper as well. Track 12 is Garden of Eden. Track 13 is Don't Damn Me. Track 14 is Bad Apples. Track 15 is Dead Horse, and track 16 is Coma. So again, that is the track list for Use Your Illusion Volume 1. Some really good tracks on there, like definitely November Rain probably being the best one on the album, I think. It's a great ballad. And then Live and Let Die, it's a really good cover of Paul McCartney. And Wings, I should say. On to Volume 2. One quote when I was doing my research on this was Volume 2, or Use Your Illusion 2, not Volume 2. Use Your Illusion 2 was a little bit more serious, but also some critics said it was more serious, but also at the same time more pretentious. One of the big tracks on Volume 2 is You Could Be Mine, which is featured in Terminator 2, just an amazing film. Did a video for that earlier. The very first cycle in 1991 we did Terminator 2. I don't think we could have picked a better movie to start it off with. But that song shows up in the film as John Connor and his friend kind of drive away on their dirt bike, and his friend's got the boom box above him and is playing this song. They did a really iconic music video for that song, featuring bits and pieces from the Terminator 2 film. They got Arnold Schwarzenegger to basically reprise his role as a Terminator for that music video. Reprise might not be the right term because it came out like at the exact same time. But the whole music video is basically Arnold as the Terminator is sent to a show to basically terminate Guns N' Roses. At the very end of the video, you see him, and it's like Terminator Vision, and it kind of does the whole, like, it outlines all the members, lists them, and then it basically says it's a waste of ammo to actually terminate Guns N' Roses, and he kind of just walks away after that. But just an iconic music video for that. And even though they actually have a throwback to it in Terminator Salvation, I don't love Terminator Salvation. It was okay. But there is a scene where John Connor, the Christian Bale version, of course, like drops a boombox on the ground and like hits a button, and I think to play it, and I think he's trying to get the attention of like a motorcycle Terminator. I don't know what they were actually called, but he puts the boombox down, presses play, and it plays "You Should Be Mine," which is a cool little throwback. And then he does like rigs a trap to basically like drags a rope across like the road, and like it basically like trips the bike, and he's able to like take it and like hack it or repurpose it or whatever. But it was a cool little throwback to Terminator 2 and this particular song and music video. So that is just an incredible. We're actually going to jump into the track list for Volume 2, or Use Your Illusion 2, I should say. This one comes in about the same length, about an hour and 15 minutes, and 14 tracks. Track 1 is Civil War. That's a classic. Track 2 is 14 Years. Track 3 is Yesterdays. Track 4 is Knocking on Heaven's Door. Again, a Bob Dylan cover. And a really interesting take on that song. Track 5 is Get in the Ring. Track 6 is Shotgun Blues. Track 7 is Breakdown. Track 8 is Pretty Tied Up. And in parentheses, The Perils of Rock and Roll Decadence. Track 9 is Locomotive, in parentheses, Complicity. Track 10 is So Fine. Track 11 is Estranged. Track 12 is You Could Be Mine. And probably my favorite track on the album is that, just because I'm a huge fan of Terminator 2, and it's an incredible song. Track 13 is Don't Cry. And then track 14 is My World. And again, about 14 tracks, an hour and 15 minutes. I'm actually going to go back to Use Your Illusion 1. We're going to check out some of the reviews for that. I think 2 is probably... I like 2 a little bit more than 1. But anyway, so on Use Your Illusion 1, AllMusic has it at a 4.5 out of 5. Chicago Tribune gave it a 3 out of 4. Entertainment Weekly gave it an A. The LA Times gave it a 3.5 out of 4. NME has it at a 4 out of 10. Pitchfork has it at an 8.4. Q has it at a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 also from Rolling Stone. The Rolling Stone Album Guide has it at a 5 out of 5. And USA Today gave it a 4. And then the reviews for Use Your Illusion 2, we have, let me actually just pull them up here really quick. AllMusic has it at a 3 out of 4. Chicago Tribune has it at a 4 out of 4. A from Entertainment Weekly. LA Times has it at a 4 out of 4. NME has it at a 4 out of 10 and 8.8 from Pitchfork. Q has it at a 5 out of 5. Rolling Stone has it at a 4 out of 5. And USA Today has it at a 3.5 out of 5. They're both very good. I think I just prefer Volume 2 just a little, or I keep saying Volume 2. Usually the 2 just a little bit more. But I do kind of agree with some fans where they were saying it's kind of, the albums are a little bit bloated. So I think I'll probably just maybe make a playlist of just like the best songs, or my favorites at least, from 1, and then another same playlist, best songs from 2. But just a huge, I'm going to call it a double album, even though it's separate releases. But just a very good, very ambitious attempt from Guns N' Roses. I think it pretty much all works. You know, like I said, it does feel a touch bloated at times. But there's a lot of music here. And it's not just like a double album to where it's like, you know, like maybe like 40 minutes for each. It's over an hour on each album. So like, if you're listening to it back to back, it's kind of long because you're looking at probably 2.5 hours, I think, because each one's roughly an hour 15. Maybe I think Use Your Illusion 1, an hour, like a minute longer than that. So like basically 2.5 hours, which is a kind of a big ask when you're just like listening to an album from start to finish. But you can break it up over a couple sessions. They're both worth your time, and they're both excellent. Again, I think I like, Appetite for Destruction, my absolute best, and then these probably come in right after that. But that is going to do it for this video. We'll be back again in a few days covering another movie from 1991, and then we'll be back after that with another computer or video game. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.